So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. By the time you see this, I will have already introduced this coffee mug as a birthday mug from my oldest daughter. It says, "Kiss Today, Hello." It's pink and black, and she saw it and she thought of me and picked it up. Today's tea is Celestial Seasonings. I can talk. India spiced chai, and I put 2 bags of that in there, which is what I normally do with my store brand teas. They tend to be a little on the weaker side. Don't need to do that with my Sips by teas usually. But I also mixed it in with a bag of the Stash Spiced Dragon Red Chai. We are getting our first frost, and I wanted something warm and spicy and, all the things. We're just going to start seeing more of my sweaters again because we are hitting the cold snap. We went straight from, hi, it's summer, to, okay, I don't know. It just went weird. It went very, very weird this year. It's like we had maybe 3 days of, we're going to go into fall, and then all of a sudden it was late fall. And it's not even late fall. But anyway, let's give this a taste and see how this combo works. I think something's fighting in there. It might need some more time to steep. Yeah, but something's not quite. We'll see if they mesh better towards the end of the video. And I think I went just a touch light on my sugar. I'm a real sugar girl. I've mentioned this before. Today I wanted to talk about inclusivity, particularly when it comes to makeup brands versus skincare brands. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about that is, as you all know, I am kind of boycotting, I shouldn't say kind of, I am boycotting Tarte right now. I do have some of their stuff that I am working on panning, but beyond that, I haven't been buying anything new, not even my favorite foundation, which is their Amazonian clay, which they recently expanded, which is great. However, they did not expand the Shape Tape foundation, which was what caused the uproar in the first place. They haven't expanded any of their other foundations or BB creams or any of their other shades on anything else. So still watching them, still kind of hoping they'll do the right thing and they'll get to the other brands. But so yeah, still kind of boycotting them at this time. I really can't speak. Anyway, I had a subscriber mention, because I do use First Aid Beauty a lot, and I had a subscriber mention, have I noticed how poorly the shades are for the First Aid Beauty products that they've come out that have a shade range. They have some sort of BB cream or face cream that has a tint to it as a face tint that has like 5 shades, and then they recently came out with the avocado concealer that has 7 shades, and these are abysmal shades. However, that's really all they have. But it did prompt me to start looking around to see if I could find some replacements for the skincare with a more inclusive company. Let me tell you something. That is really, really hard to do. And so I had to start thinking about how I was going to treat makeup brands versus skincare brands that are coming out with shade-based products. So let's just kind of get into some of this stuff. And I have some of the brands in front of me to kind of explain some of the differences I see between the 2 types of companies. And what it comes down to is this: makeup brands should know better. Makeup brands are in the business of bringing out stuff that is based on shades. It's based on colors. So makeup brands should know better, and should know better than to have, say, 5 shades of a foundation or 7 shades of a concealer or whatever. They should know better. There are a number of brands out there that I have checked out that I will not be buying from, precisely because the majority of their stuff is like, we have 3 or 4 shades or 5 shades or 7 shades or 12 shades of something, and it doesn't even cover deep. It's all kind of in the middle. They don't cover the lighter end. Their idea of alabaster is sort of a yellowy, beigey color, and yellow, I'm sorry, does not turn your beige into an alabaster or a light color. Their idea of a deep color is something that's a little darker than me. They don't even get close to, say, the color of that, which some of this saxophone photo I have behind me. And there are some women that have a shade, a skin tone that dark. A lot of women, actually. I'm lucky in that I'm in the middle. I can get olive tones. If they don't have an olive tone, I can get a beige tone. But just because I can find it doesn't mean that I should go, okay, the brand is fine. We need to be inclusive for all of our sisters, all of women, all men who are wearing makeup need to be able to find shades that match them. And if the uproar about Tarte, and I believe there was another one that came out with an abysmal shade range that made everybody go, what? If those companies can't look at that and go, oh, well, we need to come out with at least 30 shades, then there's a problem with the company. 24, 25, I can get with, but to some degree, with the hope that they would expand that range. However, 15? No. 18? No. That's not enough. So if you're a makeup company and they've seen this uproar, and they had to have seen this uproar about Tarte coming out with, what was it, 15 shades or 18 shades of the Shape Tape foundation, and seeing how people got very upset that they were not represented in that shade range, as a makeup company, you should take that to heart, or at least to consideration. And when you're making your foundation, you should hold off releasing it until you have a decent number of shades to cover all people. Skincare companies are in a whole different category, I guess. Even if they start coming out with shade-related things, like First Aid Beauty has, and like actually Vichy has, sort of. The thing is, their primary focus is the care of your skin, making sure that your skin is healthy and that you have, you're moisturized and all of those things. Their primary concern is not necessarily shade-related stuff. Should they consider shades when they do come out with something that's shade-related? Yes. But from what I've seen, by and large, most of them don't. And that kind of put me in a bit of a bind when I was trying to find replacements for my First Aid Beauty, which is not to say that I haven't or that I won't, because for some things I will, but there are some things I'm going to probably end up keeping in the long run. And that's because, yes, they came out with abysmal shades for their skin tint and for their concealer, but they are primarily a skincare company, which means their primary concern is the condition of your skin. And they need to come out with stuff that covers sensitive skin, oily skin, combo skin, dry skin, normal. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at skin type, and cosmetic companies are looking at skin shades. So, with that in mind, hello, Gambit he wants out. They want out. It's getting colder and they still want out. Crazy. When we get winter, they're going to be a little less inclined to want to go out. You'll see. But anyway, I did look around. I did check out the companies that I enjoy. I did check out some new companies. I still have some new companies I'm looking at. But I wanted to discuss the ones that I have versus what I'm looking for, and whether or not I would keep using them based on inclusivity. So let's start with the first one, and that is First Aid Beauty. I am still looking for some options and replacements for some of their products. And the reason being is price. So for example, I love the facial radiance pads. I use these every night. One of the things that I use them for, in addition to exfoliating and toning my skin, is to test out my masks and see if my skin comes up clean. Whenever I do a review of a mask or a cleanser, I will mention, and my Radiance pad came up clean or slightly dirty or whatever. I have found another product that I'm going to try. I do not know if the brand is inclusive, but my understanding from looking at it, at least briefly, is that it is a skincare brand. If it does not work, I probably would go back to buying these. However, these are $30 for $60, and I believe the ones I'm looking at are about half that price. Give me a minute to check that out. Okay, so the ones that I'm checking out that I'm going to try in place of these are from Nip Plus Fab. It is their Glycolic Daily Cleansing Pads. And I'm sorry, I have to look off to the side. I don't have my other phone with me. And while these are $30 for $60, those are $10 for $60. So if those work for me, those are what I'll go for, because at this point, my family really does need me to start looking at the price of things and start trying to bring the price down. As much as I enjoy these, as much as I am viewing First Aid Beauty as a skincare company, so inclusivity, yes, it's a problem, but it's not as big a problem as with one of the other brands that I'm using, that I tried in lieu of this one. I would still keep using these because I'm seeing First Aid Beauty as primarily a skincare. Now, if their product line expands so that half of the stuff they're selling is makeup and the other half they're selling is skincare, we might have a different conversation. But right now, as far as I know, they only have 2 or 3 products that are skin tone based. The rest of it is skin type based for sensitive skin. And so I see them as a skincare company and would continue to buy certain of their products, assuming I can't find replacements that I like from another company that it either has no makeup or has enough shades in their other makeup or isn't a good price match. So I would continue to buy these if the Nip Fab don't work for me. The face cleanser. This one I will probably continue to use. I am going to take a look around. I have found another brand for something else that I like, and from their site, they are completely a skincare brand, and so I'm more than willing to give them a try. Again, we're looking at a price difference though. The other brand is Cetaphil, but I really do like this cleanser. It is a nice, thick, creamy cleanser. It is very easy to use, very little of it, and make it go a long way. Of course, Sora. The cats. Anyway. To have a little bit go a long way with this. I did attempt to use another brand in place of this. I will discuss that in a minute. It's one of the ones that falls in, okay, you were a makeup company and should know better. Yeah, this was something that I would also repurchase if I can't find something to replace it. It's a really good cleanser. The eye cream. Now, this is the one that I found a replacement for. This is a $30 bottle. The Cetaphil eye cream is $13. So I like them both. However, I find the Cetaphil to be a bit more emollient. And when I went to the Cetaphil site, at least I hope I'm pronouncing that right. When I went to the Cetaphil site, they don't have skin tone based things. Again, I see First Aid Beauty as, yes, they're primarily skincare, but they're starting to dab into makeup, and I need to watch them. I have talked to them a couple of times. They keep saying they're going to expand their shade range. We're just going to have to wait and see. However, again, we're looking at a price thing here versus an inclusivity thing. I'm not as worried about inclusivity with this one as I am with this one. I would continue to buy this one if this one didn't make me happier. This one makes me happier. So what did I attempt to replace my First Aid Beauty with? And what did I finally make me go, oh, damn. I attempted to replace my First Aid Beauty with some Pacifica products. This is the Pacifica Dreamy Youth Day and Night Face Cream. This is their Seafoam Complete Face Wash. I can't say I love them both, but I don't dislike them. They're good products. The face wash is more liquidy. It is harder to control how much of it you put on a sponge or a washcloth or your fingers than it is the First Aid Beauty, which is why I would go back to the First Aid Beauty. I'm going to finish using this up. I do like it. It does its job. It does clean my face. It is gentle and all that stuff. But, well, we'll talk about the butt in a minute. Pacifica, the Dreamy Youth Day and Night Face Cream. This is okay. I have not found it to be amazing. I haven't found it to be, you know, it's an okay cream. I like it. It seems to be a little tacky on my skin. It seems to stay a little tacky on my skin through the night, at least with certain serums that I use. Again, it's not something I'm going to repurchase, but that's going into the other problem. I was introduced to Pacifica as a cosmetic company. So I had purchased these. Honestly, should have checked first, but I had purchased these and then I checked the site and they have a couple of different skin tone based items, and one of them has 4 shades, I think. Might have a few more than that. All I know is I looked at it and I just went, wait, what? I see Pacifica as sort of more of a cosmetic company than a skincare company. It does have both, but it has a lot of cosmetics. This is a company that should know better. This is a company that should be doing more inclusivity. This is a company I will not be buying from in the future, even if I like their products. So another company that I buy from is Badescu. I'm going to need to replace my anti-acne serum very soon. This is going to last me a long time. This is their Glycolic foaming cleanser. I use this once, maybe twice a week, sometimes. It's not something I use a lot. I use it, you know, just basically to help exfoliate and help with any acne I might be developing. So I don't use it a lot. And this is the anti-acne serum that I use pretty much every night in my T-zone and along here where I tend to get quite a bit of acne when I do break out, and then I put it on, when I find a bump forming, I put it on those. Badescu, as far as I can tell, as far as I remember the last time I researched, I went through the website, has no makeup. It has no shade-based stuff. So I really do like the products I have here. I've tried a couple of their moisturizers and they haven't had much luck. However, they are a bit on the expensive side. I will keep buying this. I will probably be buying both of these. They do work for me. The good news is even though they're a bit expensive, they both last a while. And for a serum, this is not that expensive, honestly. Serums, from what I've seen, run $50 to $100 and some odd dollars or more. This, I think, is around $30. I'd have to check it. It'd have to be around $15 to $30 because I bought this stuff together and there's no way I would have spent $70 or $80 at one shop like that and one time. And I did buy them together. I do recommend them. They are somebody, since they're a skincare company, primarily, completely a skincare company. They are somebody that I will continue to buy from and I will continue to recommend. Now, here is where we get into one of the issues of skincare versus cosmetics and inclusivity. Korean skincare. If a Korean skincare company is into makeup, they're not going to be that inclusive. From what I've seen of Asian-based cosmetic companies, any foundations, any skin tone-based items tend to be towards the lighter, the middle. They very rarely, if ever, have any really dark shades. If you love Korean skincare and the company has shade shade-based, skin tone-based products, I suppose you could give it up, but for them, I'm not even sure how to explain it. Most Asians are not that dark. And since they are Asian-based companies, they are catering to that particular demographic. The fact that Americans have fallen in love with Korean skincare doesn't mean that Korean companies are going to suddenly start making, that color foundation. They're just not going to do it. They don't have that. That's not the demographic that they are aiming for. Places like Tarte, Pacifica, Maybelline, Urban Decay, they're going for a broader range of people. Korean skincare is not. So I did buy my Klairs freshly juiced vitamin E mask. I love this mask. It makes it's more of it's almost a mix of a serum and a moisturizer, if that makes sense. The consistency of this is very odd. It's very different than what I got in the little packet. I swear I have taken stuff out of this thing and it completely seals itself back up when I'm done. You have to actually dig in there to get it. I haven't actually checked out Klairs itself because, as I noted, it is a Korean or an Asian based. There's a lot of most of the text is not in English. So I'm not part of the demographic that they would be aiming for if they were doing cosmetics. But I'm still going to buy this. I love this. And I see this as more of a skincare thing rather than supporting inclusivity from a makeup brand, if that makes sense. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is that I really think that we have to really look at whether or not it's a makeup brand versus a skincare brand and determine our support that way, determine whether or not we're going to give up the things we love based on that. For me, if it hits about 50-50, then, it's time, especially if it's hitting a demographic, the American demographic, where you're looking at a much broader range of skin tones to be covered. If they aren't covering those skin tones, then yeah, and they're primarily a makeup brand, or they make a skincare brand that half their stuff is shade-based, skin tone-based, then yeah, I can see going, okay, I really need to rethink this and decide it's time to stop purchasing those. But for brands that are where we aren't their demographic and where they are primarily skincare, I don't see the point in doing that. And another one that makes that point for me is Vichy. I love the Vichy Mineral 89. As you can see, I'm going to need to repurchase that real soon. I went to check out their site. They have 2 skin tone based items. I think might have been 1. It was probably 1. Pretty sure it was 1. And it only has 4 shades in it. But the rest of their site is devoted to skincare. So should I give up my skincare based on 1 product with only 4 shades? I'm going to go with no, because quite obviously, Vichy is primarily a skincare company. I'm going to continue to buy my Vichy Mineral 89. Some people I know are going to come in and go, oh, you're just splitting hairs and da-da-da-da. I understand that. And if you feel the need to boycott a skincare company or a skincare company that's going into makeup like First Aid Beauty, if you feel the need to boycott that company for not being inclusive, I support you. Honestly, I do. But for me, it comes down to what was or is the primary purpose of the company for me to decide whether or not to boycott. Tarte is a cosmetics company. It should know better. It really should. And honestly, if you look at it, NYX came out with, their Can't Stop, Won't Stop in 40 some odd shades. CoverGirl came out with that new one that I like, and I can't remember the name of now, but they came out with theirs, and it has 40 some odd shades. If these two drugstore-based companies can do it, Tarte can do it. Tarte can take their existing lines and expand them. Or it could have waited on the Shape Tape foundation until it had enough shades to cover everything. They chose not to. That's the thing. And they are a cosmetics company who should know better. And since then, we've been watching, Fenty came out with so many, 40 shades, I think. I tried one Fenty and it just didn't work for my skin. So now I don't remember how many shades she came out with. But other companies have listened. And when they come out with new products, they are coming out with more shades. Are they all coming out with 30 or 40 shades? Not necessarily. But you can see that they went, oh, it's a bad idea to not come out with a shade range when you are a cosmetic company. I'm not going to hold skincare companies to that same standard. Yes, they should try, but if they don't, I don't think we should slam them for it. Does this seem kind of self-serving because I can keep my First Aid Beauty? I have a reason to keep using it? Maybe. I am still looking for options, though. Just because I've decided that I'm not quite ready to throw First Aid Beauty off the bus, overboard, however you want to phrase it, doesn't mean I'm not looking around and trying for other options. I am looking for other options. And if I find some and the company is either more inclusive or a lower price, I'm going to go for it, just like the Cetaphil. I really want to try their moisturizer. But if you are a cosmetics company that should know better, and you don't do something to fix your problem, or if you decide to release stuff that isn't inclusive, then yes, I'm tossing you off the bus. I'm going to finish these up, but I will not be buying from Pacifica until I see changes. I'm not buying from Tarte until I see changes in the shade range. So that is my opinion. That's my deep thoughts on skincare inclusivity versus cosmetic company inclusivity. I do think that inclusivity in terms of skin tone is part of the directive for cosmetic companies, but not so much for skincare companies. And I do think that we have to watch how militant we become about that. I'm not trying to discount my deeper, darker sisters. I understand that it's very hard to find shades for you in a lot of these products, and that's wrong. But when it comes right down to it, when you're going to a skincare company, are you looking for a shade range, or are you looking for something that's going to work on your skin? And if the skincare company has less than half of its products, if it only has one product, two products that are based on skin shade, skin tone, then are you going to throw them over for that? I find that hard to do. It's one or two products, and I do think that we should contact them and let them know that, hey, you know what? 7 shades is not acceptable. You need to do more than that. And see if they are willing to do more than that. First Aid Beauty says they are. We'll have to see if they actually follow through, but they say they are. Deep stuff, everyone is going to make their own decision based on this. My decision is to look at the company and basically go with how makeup heavy is the company. Is it half makeup? Well, then we may have a problem. If it 2 or 3 or 4 products out of 100, I'm not even going to worry about it. Obviously, their primary focus is skincare, and those shade range problems, yes, they have them, and yes, they should be made aware of them, but that's not where their focus is, so I'm not sure how much accountable that I should hold them to. And my decision right now is to write them and to continue to remind them that I would love to see whatever they have expanded, but I'm going to continue to use some of their things if I really love it, because they're primarily skincare, which has nothing to do with shade range. Alrighty then, I need to get out of this. We've gone deep and heavy, and I've shared a few things. All of the stuff that I've shown you is pretty much some of my favorite stuff. This is skincare I use every night, mostly. I don't wash my face with soap during the day. I do use hydrating gel, eye cream. I do use, other things during the day. I don't tone in the morning. A lot of this is mostly my nighttime routine stuff. I do recommend the Mario Badescu. I do recommend the Vichy Mineral 89. The Klairs. This is $27. It's going to last me forever and a day. Highly recommend this. The First Aid Beauty, I love. I love this. Just found from the Walmart box, the Cetaphil Hydrating Eye Gel Cream. Love it. Unlike the First Aid Beauty, which is supposed to even out skin tone, I believe. Yes. So it's supposed to deal a little bit with the under eye circles. This one is just basically moisturizing and that kind of thing. Moisturizing and brightening. I haven't noticed it brightening too much, but this is some emollient shit, guys. In terms of how this feels on my eyes versus how this feels on my eyes, I figure I can always use concealer, and I'm using powder concealer today to hide any shadows. Unless they're really bad, then I can use a liquid concealer or whatever. I can always hide my shadows. My texture and my dryness under my eyes is a whole different story, and I'm loving this stuff. I've got to get me a bottle of this. Anyway, making this a long one, gonna head on out, and I hope you like what you've seen, and if you have not yet subscribed, why not? Please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. I am intending at this point to get back to my regular schedule, but I am looking at going to 4 days a week next year. So we'll see what happens with that. If you are already part of my notification squad, please check your bell. I'm still getting my bells unchecked whenever I get a notification from YouTube, so check your bell just in case. And whether you subscribe or not, I do hope you will come back. And when you do come back, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Yeah, those two teas don't like each other. I'm mostly getting the India chai, which makes sense since I put 2 tea bags in there. But yeah, those teas are not liking each other at all. That makes me sad. That makes me sad. But you know what? Not everything can mix well. I like skincare and makeup sometimes. You all have a great day. Bye.